So Adam Kirby, here we are, Vicarage Farm in Kirtling, just outside Newmarket, and this is going to be home to Adam Kirby, the fully fledged trainer from 2026. What has inspired you to, well, it's not quite the plunge, but what's inspired you to go the whole hog?
I think sort of adrenaline. I think since I stopped riding, I've been looking for something to give me that sort of buzz back, and I'm hoping that this is gonna be what I need.
It's interesting you say that because you sort of slipped away from your riding career rather than announced a great retirement with any sort of fanfare. Why was that?
I'm not really a type of guy that wants to jump up and down and announce everything and do everything. And at the time, it's a hard thing to let go. I'd done it for such a long time. Had some marvellous times, and deep down you don't want to let it go, but I knew I had to.
What did you enjoy most about it? It was a really good, strong career over a lot of years. What did you get out of it? What have you achieved, do you think?
What did I get out of it? So, everyday buzz really. The excitement, adrenaline, even winning a small race, it does pick you up for them few seconds, and that buzz, it gives you that heartbeat. And like I say, I think that's something that I'm missing since I've obviously retired, and I'm gonna try and get it again.
And so training, I sort of feel, was always your natural vocation. How much was building horses' careers part of your riding? How much did you enjoy that side of it?
Yeah, so obviously we started breaking and pre-training a long time ago now, and it's something, a horseman is something that I'd like to describe myself as. Probably a better horseman than I ever was a jockey, but like I say, we're still gonna carry on doing what we're doing, but obviously we're gonna start training as well and just see where that leads.
What's the difference between a horseman and a jockey?
Two completely different things. I'd like to think I could more or less tell you what it's thinking without being silly, and knowing them, and also, feedback as a jockey, and being able to express what you felt and moving forward to the next day. Yourself, they don't win every time, and you've got to try and figure out, i.e. why they got beat, or why it ran bad, and try and get that right the next time.
And you could always feel that. You felt you had that empathy with the animal.
I thought I did, and I hope I did. But who knows? Horses can't talk, but I'd like to think I had a good relationship with them.
And it all comes from this very ground we're standing on, which is really lovely.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about when you first came here?
Yeah.
To this very spot?
So we came from, I was obviously born in Norwich, reared in Norwich until I was 4, and then Dad brought this place off of Frankie Durr.
The famous jockey?
Yeah, so...
So what was Dad doing at the time?
So he was an electrician.
Yeah.
Then he built Swaffham Raceway, which turned out to be a greyhound track, which he built and got up and going, and one thing led to another. Then he got into thoroughbreds, and with that, this place was bought, and then he started breeding a few with Mum, and sort of one thing led to another, and that's how it all started from a young age.
So was he someone who just, be it an electrician by trade, was he someone who just needed to be around animals, just had that instinct?
Yeah, I think definitely, yeah, in a way. Mum would always do the work, but yeah.
That's always the way, though, isn't it?
Exactly that, yeah. But no, marvellous man, and obviously we've lost him now, but he's very sadly missed. But it'd be nice for him to, maybe he's up there looking down. Maybe it's meant to be.
Did he see all of your success?
Unfortunately not. He saw me get going. I lost him when I was 21, so he missed a lot of good days, but never mind.
But the most important legacy that he left you was not only the passion for horses, but this place. So, yeah. Describe it a little bit. How many acres have you got here, and how have you developed it since he was here?
So, When we first come here, we used to live in the cottage up the yard. Then Dad got this house built down the bottom, and one thing's led to another. And then since then, there's been, you know, stables obviously added, gallops added, and all the facilities that we should need. So it's come a long way, and it's come a long way since we lost Dad. So we'll see.
And when that, you know, you were 21 when he passed away. At that point, were you always thinking, well, one day I'll train here? Was that always in your head?
It's always been, you know, I've always fancied the idea, but it's always been sort of at the back of my mind, and will I, won't I, and then I just finally made up my mind 2 weeks ago, so now we're going.
And what's been the reaction from like your fellow ex-weighing room colleagues to that? If any of them know, of course.
As we stand, I haven't told, obviously, my owners know, obviously Charlie Appleby knows, Phil Cunningham knows. They're, you know, a couple of our main supporters with volume of yearlings at breakers at this time of year, so they are very supportive of it, and nothing's going to change. So, yeah, moving on.
So you're going to keep going with this pre-training yard, which you're quite sort of unassuming about. But I was talking to Megan, your wife, and you've had 874 horses through here since 2020 or 2021, I think it is, which is an astonishing number. How's it all come together, and how does it work at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, everything's running smoothly. Like I said, we're very, very blessed to do horses for, you know, all the names that I do them for, and I'm very, very privileged to be associated with them names and them kind of people. So I'm very proud of what we've done, but that's not stopping. And like I said, we're looking forward to a bit of excitement.
And of course, where you've got that advantage is that you're taking horses from the cradle. You're taking babies and you're moulding them and shaping them into world-class thoroughbreds. Certainly in the case of your own Derby winner Ad AR and a horse like Notable Speech, they've both been through here. What is the most important thing about getting a young horse's potential out of them? What's the most important thing you can do for them as a young horse?
Don't overdo them before they're ready. So just take your time, keep their minds right, and you know, keep them sound.
And do you think that you can identify a horse with talent right away?
The good ones always stand out. Obviously, there's a few that you think are nice, which obviously don't make it, and it turns out that they're not. But you know, I'm not a genius. We all get it wrong.
And is it something in the way that they move, or is it something in just the way they are? Is it just that when you get a baby in here, is it something about the way they act and the way they are around you, or is it something about the way that they move? Yeah,
no, it's most you know, nice horses, good horses, so to speak, have a presence about them, and they're athletic, and they want to do it from the get-go.
So they're quick to learn,
Very quick.
Like the best students in school. They're sharp, on it, quick to learn.
Yeah, and you know, they don't worry about anything. They eat up, they don't sweat up, and they just find exercise relatively easy.
So that's the pre-training, and is that something that you'd like to carry on doing whilst you're building up the training establishment full bore?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're babies this time of year, rolling up to Christmas, and I even train them. I wouldn't do any more with them at this time of year as to what I would if I was training them.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of how you want to build the training career proper, how would you like to start off? When do you want to start off? What's the sort of plan from here to next year?
So all the modules are being done this winter. We're, fingers crossed, tightly crossed, will be up and running, and everything will be signed and sealed for the start of the flat.
So the start of the flat turf, so sort
yes.
of March time.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be ready. Be nice to have a couple of early 2-year-olds if possible. If they're not early, we've got the rest of the year. But that's the ideal starting point. Obviously, if we can get a few older horses to help us get the show on the road, and that's plan A.
And tell me a little bit about the facilities here and what you've got to offer new owners, people coming into the game perhaps who haven't experienced it before.
It's different to Newmarket. We've got all the land possible. The farm sits on 80 acres, so we've got turnout, we can freshen them up. We've got treadmills, we've got 2 gallops. We're also putting in a sort of a natural spa, so hopefully we can, sort of accommodate for what we need to.
It's a very peaceful spot. I mean, I know the dog's making a bit of noise, but it is actually, it's a beautifully peaceful spot. How much do you think that helps the horses here?
Well, touch wood, hopefully, I think most people would agree with me that all our horses are pretty well relaxed here. They're not hypey, they're not buzzed up, and I think the horses like being here. They seem to do well, so that's what I think, and hopefully we'll stand by that.
To what extent does that come from you? Because as you say, you're not kind of a showy sort of person. You seem quite relaxed generally. I know you want the buzz and the adrenaline, but is that right? Is that you? Do you feel? Do you think that transmits to everybody? I'm
pretty chilled out 90% of the time. There is a bit of fire that comes out every now and again, but that's only natural. But no, listen. I just think it's just the way you are with them, isn't it? If you don't, if you keep their minds right, they'll keep their minds right and give them the right time. They'll repay you.
Mm. And when you've looked at other trainers who you've worked for, who you've ridden for, what sort of qualities did you admire in them that made you think, yeah, that's the way I kind of want to do things?
Well, I always find no trainer's the same. Mm. When they've got their own yards and facilities. Clive Cox is obviously, his record speaks for himself. He when he turns one up, they run well. So I'd like to take a lot from what I learned from him. Not only that, also is his manners as a person, because I think he's a fantastic guy. And like I said, everybody trains different. I'm going to train from here, so I need to find my own way of doing it, which I've kind of got the hang of, I'd like to think. So we'll put it into shape and see what happens.
See, this is the interesting thing, because a lot of people start training, they get a yard in Newmarket, whatever, and then they start to have to learn the gallops and learn how to do this and that and the other and how fast you might go. Here, you've kind of already worked it out. You know your gallop, don't you? You know how fast to go and how to get the babies going.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'd like to think that we've got the hang of that. Obviously, training them is going to be moving on in the season is going to have to be harder on them than what we are doing our job now. But I'm well aware of that. Like I said, if we keep them moving right, keep them healthy. Like the beauty of training in your own facility is you've got no one coughing and sneezing on you, and if we can keep them healthy and keep them well, they'll run.
Talk to me a little bit about how the team is going to work when the license comes, who you've got supporting you, who's around you.
So obviously I've got a great team of lads around me. As we stand at the moment, all the older pre-training horses all go out before 11 o'clock, and then we get all the part-time riders from town from between 10:30 up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get the babies out, which I've always found seems to work really well because you can get them out in bunches, and obviously with the riders at that time of the day you can get the good riders, and I think there's a lot to be said for having good riders.
Is that right up on your priority list, right? Every horse in this yard has to be ridden by someone of well above average capability.
Absolutely, yep.
And I know it sounds obvious, but explain how that can set a horse off on the right path.
Without coming across the wrong way, just horses need to be ridden, especially young horses.
Rather than just saddled.
Not saddled. And the difference is huge, and that will come out in the long run.
And I know you've got obviously huge support from Megan, who is going to be, I'm guessing, your biggest ally and biggest asset.
Yeah, she's no, she's a fantastic girl, and she's sort of granted me my wish. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Did she need any persuading?
A little bit of persuading. I think obviously she was very concerned about losing what we've built up. But we're not going to lose that. That's still going to be there. Obviously, you know, Megs is always around, but you know, she knows she's going to have to step up more to concentrate on everything and to keep everything smooth and keep the show on the road.
And of course, that other part of training, which you don't have to do quite so much with pre-training. Yes, you have to look after owners, but not in quite the same way. You're now sort of entering the full-on entertainment business. How does that sit?
So I've got a mobile phone. so you know, it's entertaining owners. Hopefully, you know, obviously I'll enjoy going racing, and we'll enjoy the day, win, lose or draw. And although it's something I'm excited about, you've got to keep things realistic. They are going to get beat. So we're not just going there thinking we can win everything, and I'm going to be the next Aidan O'Brien. But listen, you can only try, and it's given me a really weird feeling that I feel like all of a sudden I've found myself again, and I think I'm even walking quicker. Does that make sense? It's making me, it's giving me that feeling. So I think it was meant to be.
Well, I hope it's a massive success for you, and that the yard fills as quickly as the pre-training yard has, and you'll be up to, it's 874 through here at the moment. You'll be up to 1,000 before too long. Adam, all the very best.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.